The following is a presentation of TFNN. Live at TFNN, the Power Trading Hour, with your host, David White. Now, the author of The Path of Least Resistance and The Tech Insider, David White.
And welcome to a beautiful February 11th, 2013 at the headquarters of Technical Trading and Investing. It is TFNN.com with your lovable and squeezable host. I'm squeezably soft David White for the Power Trading Hour. And we're looking at a market that's very quiet today, mostly based on a lot of people being absent in New York. And pretty much trying to keep the volatility to a minimum. We're off 2 points on the S&P cash, 1.7 billion shares. So extremely light volume. Normally we're coming in about now with about 2.2 billion shares. So we're going to be another very light day. As not a whole lot of movement in this market. But we'll have to see how it's going. We've got a few stocks moving out here. We'll be talking about them. Today in 1960, the public was treated to lavish disc jockey convention talk and paid for by various record companies. Basically, what we found out is what you listened to was bought and paid for. It was called the Payola scandal. And basically, I guess this was the last couple of days of the presidency of Ike and Eisenhower, and what he wanted to do was talk about basically working in the FCC about whether or not you get paid to play various records. One disc jockey, Wesley Hopkins in Cleveland, admitted to receiving over the course of about a year and a half $12,000 in quote listening fees from record companies and evaluating the commercial possibilities of the record. Basically, it was just a way of paying people off. If you got into the right markets, you could control the rest of what the rest of the United States was listening to, and they went after it. Of course, the teenager forever, Dick Clark, was knee-deep in this. Actually, I think it was in maybe the day after the first day of these Payola hearings, he was out. Basically found out that he was getting, if he put people on his show, he got writer credits. So whatever they sold, he got a cut of on the backside. So not very squeaky clean, although he was one of the few to come through this stain, let me put it this way, on basically records. And of course, last night the Grammys were on, and you kind of have to think just how much payola still goes on, because most of it was crap, you have to admit. Semi-talented people, a lot of them, they can beat their girlfriends as long as they can dance. They really probably not that talented of musicians, but they are popular and they are famous for being famous. But you see people like Chris Brown, and you want to just start talking to people like Prince and Bruno Mars and say, you probably could kill a couple people and get away with it. If he can go over there and beat Rihanna, maybe you could just get away with it. It's kind of a crazy kind of thing out there. Of course, the only thing everybody wanted to talk about after it was over was the size of the assets for Katy Perry. But who can blame them? I'm a red-blooded American male. But certainly didn't have a lot to do with actual talent. There were a few people on there that were truly talented, kind of when you think about people like Bonnie Raitt, some of the other artists on there that truly made masterpiece records. Few things can compete with the In the Nick of Time album she put out. There were some other people on there. Jack White, kind of interesting. He's been in several bands. Not as well known as a lot of other people out there, but big into producing a lot of actual cutting-edge stuff. And I don't know if I'm real excited about fun, but I guess they're having fun, which is all that matters. It's not like we get an Andreas Bocelli every day. And certainly those are not the people they want to talk about on the Grammys. Basically, they want to talk about a bunch of rappers who are probably shooting each other as we speak. But again, what can you say? But the payola scandals, well, Dick Clark was knee-deep in it. I met him a few times. He was opening up a restaurant bar called Dick Clark's American Bandstand. And I'd never seen anybody so mad in my entire life. They had him on television because in our community he wanted to put kind of a giant record on top of his building. And this was in the Our Stuff Doesn't Stink area of my town. Everybody had their nose so high up in the air, if it rained, they drowned. And they didn't want any sign more than, I think it was 5 or 8 feet above the actual location. So he wanted to put this giant record up as you drove by the interstate to see. And boy, he gave these people a piece of his mind. Still didn't get his sign up on it. But I don't know. We'll have to think about it. Anyway, we're looking at the markets out here. Again, fairly weak. Not a lot to get too excited about so far. You got a few stocks moving up and down. For all the stocks we have in the daily newsletter, not much movement out there except in gold. We are seeing a big move, at least in the GLD. Did I get the, maybe I got the closing. Chipotle, I don't know. Normally I have it. Maybe if I update it here, I will get the closing. Natural gas, S&P, gold. Anyway, GLD off 1.2%, so not that big, but I suspect it's going to go a lot lower than a lot of people think. News out over the weekend that Russia has been aggressively buying gold, which is kind of interesting. But it didn't seem to have made much difference in the price. Maybe they're buying at the top of the market. Would do well for socialists and communists to buy at the high of the market, but hard to say. Anyway, as we go through this week, we've got a lot of IPOs. First one this week is Autogenomics. Symbol is going to be AGMX. It's not going to be a big one. 6 million shares, $9 to $11. Cancer Genetics, CGIX is going to be the symbol. Genomic test to improve diagnostic and treatment of cancer, of course. Raising $35 million, offering 5 million shares between $6 and $8. Connect One Bank Corp, CNOB, a community bank, northeastern New Jersey, not a big deal, 44 million, 1.6 million shares, 26 to 29. Orchid Island Capital, Bimini capital-based REIT, basically 35 million by offering 2.4 million shares, 14 to 16. Zoom, which is probably the only one that'll interest me, XOOM. Actually, there used to be another stock with that same symbol. I'll have to think about what it was. An online and mobile money transfer company plans to raise $81 million at 5.8 million shares. It's 13 to 15 bucks. One thing that all of these have in common, and that is that they're incredibly small. And there doesn't look like a really big IPO coming. We had our last big one last week, and I think it sucked up all the oxygen after the IPO last week, or at least a lot of it for these bigger IPOs. We are in the day after the day after the day after tomorrow with New England getting all their snow. And, of course, that's causing fairly light volume as a lot of traders couldn't get in, don't have electricity, just having problems. And most of the time they'll put like a tough time getting to work, so they put the B team in, make sure that the market doesn't move very far. But very light volume out here today, and we'll see in a lot of commodity kind of stocks. OIH is off about 1%, GLD's off a little more than 1%. So we're seeing some of these ETFs that have to do with commodities continue to show some weakness, and we'll get into that in a bit. Chipotle Mexican Grill is up about $4 or $5 today. Kind of noticed that a lot of these stocks that really don't have any, that do move a little bit out here, Zynga, again, is up today. We had our caller from Friday up another 6% today. Optimism of online poker legislation. Big cop losers out here. AUY, excuse me. And it's off almost 5%. Amgen is off about 2%. And NVO is off about 14%. Received a complete response letter for an insulin drug that they had in the treatment of type 2 diabetics. See what else is out here. CSX up 3.25%, positively mentioned in a Barron's article over the weekend. And it pretty much gets us to where we're going. Not a lot going on out here, so we'll have to see what else is happening. And probably the biggest news came slightly after the close on Friday when Google released that Eric Schmidt is detailing his intention to unload up to 3.2 million Google shares, which is 42% of his personal interest. Right now, he's got 98% of all his wealth in Google shares. And, if you're not running the show anymore, he kind of got forced out. Maybe you start selling some of your shares and go do something you want to do. This is an automatic selling plan, and this is going to be over the next year. Now, just remember that Bill Gates has been on an automatic selling program since 1999. He's always putting out a little bit of shares, That's always putting a little overhead pressure on that stock. And what has Google got? It's going to have at least a year, and of course they're going to combine a lot of these shares, and it's a 3.2 million shares over the next year. It's a fair amount. Of course, Google was off a bit on that news. Let's see what we have here. And it's off $7. It's off about 1%. But kind of interesting in that it was just at its highs, testing its long-term highs. And how does that affect the psychology? A lot of people are thinking, does he know something? Probably, I would say a little less. I think it is a problem, though. And when you see people like this start selling their stock, what you find out is that a lot of times, they're just uncomfortable having 98% of their wealth buried in Google and would like to go ahead and start selling some. But it takes them so long to get out that it just puts kind of a cloud over the stock for years. Some people think that the continuing selling of the Gates Foundation has always put a lid on Microsoft also. So, what can you say? Sell, Mortimer, sell. That's what I say. Get back in there and sell. We'll be back in a minute. Give me a call, 877-927-6648, 877-927-6648. Love to have your call today. It's nice and quiet. Give me a call. Give me a hug.
What type of investor are you? Conservative, moderate, or aggressive? No matter your investor personality, your overall portfolio should reflect your financial goals, time horizon, and your risk tolerance. Help ensure your portfolio is appropriately invested with an asset allocation plan from Morgan Stanley Wealth Management. Simply picking the right stocks is not enough. Research has shown that choosing the right proportions of stocks, bonds, and cash is essential to the success of your long-term investments. Morgan Stanley believes a carefully selected portfolio can lower volatility and increase investment return potential. Find out about what an asset allocation and a Morgan Stanley Wealth Management financial advisor can do for you. Call Angela O'Brien, First Vice President and Financial Planner of the Clearwater, Florida branch at 727-441-6108 today to discuss your personal financial needs. Asset allocation does not assure a profit or protect against loss in declining financial markets. Investments and services are offered through Morgan Stanley Wealth Management, LLC. Member SIPC.
with the launch of Tiger TV. TFNN has brought our programming to the next level. With Tiger TV, you can gain access to each host's charts and computer screens as they host their daily stock program. Whether it's Tom O'Brien, Steve Rhodes, Basil Chapman, Ken Shreve, David White, Larry Pesavento, Victor Jones, or Daryl Martin, you can catch all of our technicians hosting their programs live and archived on Tiger TV for your viewing pleasure 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. If you haven't checked out Tiger TV, then visit TFNN.com and see what you're missing.
You take a hands-on approach to managing your investment strategy. You're always looking for the next trading opportunity to magnify your perspective. Direction Shares connects sophisticated traders with a powerful array of ETFs from a wide range of asset classes. The markets may go up and down, and you want tools for both sides of the trade. Discover how we can help at DirectionShares.com today. An investor should consider the investment objectives, risks, charges, and expenses of the Direction Shares carefully before investing. The prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about Direction Shares. To obtain a prospectus or summary prospectus, please contact Direction Shares at 800-851-0511. The prospectus or summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. An investment in the funds is subject to risk, including the possible loss of principal. The funds are designed to be utilized only by sophisticated investors such as traders and active investors employing dynamic strategies. Investors in the fund should understand the consequences of seeking daily investment results, understand the risk of shorting, and intend to actively monitor and manage their investments. Distributor, Foreside Fund Services, LLC.
Many of our new listeners have heard about the Tiger's Den, but wondered, what exactly is it? The Tiger's Den is a lively community where professional traders and investors can meet, exchange ideas and information in a comfortable, moderated atmosphere. Hear all of your favorite TFNN shows, plus see all the charts as they happen live during those shows, and have access to all those charts. You can test drive the Tiger's Den absolutely free for 30 days. It will greatly enrich your knowledge of these markets. Details on the Tiger's Den are on the front page of TFNN.com.
McEwen Mining is a high-growth, mid-tier producer in the Americas with a market capitalization of $1 billion. Experienced mining executive Rob McEwen, as chairman, CEO, and president, owns 25% of the outstanding shares of McEwen Mining and has put in place an ambitious business plan with the goal of qualifying for inclusion in the S&P 500 by 2015. With $70 million in cash and liquid assets as of the end of 2012 and completely debt-free, McEwen Mining is poised for growth. Production in 2013 is forecasted to grow at 24%, reaching 130,000 gold equivalent ounces, and over the next 3 years, McEwen Mining projects that their production will increase to 290,000 gold equivalent ounces, almost a threefold increase from last year's totals. If you'd like to find out more about McEwen Mining, click on their banner on the front page of TFNN.com or check them out on the NYSE or TSX under the symbol MUX.
This segment is brought to you by Goldfields. For more information, just click the Goldfields banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
And as we come back, not a bad day out here. It's just awful quiet, and you can make it a lot noisier by giving me a call at 877-927-6648. We'll look at a couple of charts, and of course Google hitting its highs out here, and you know, the volume came in about 3 million shares on the 8th, and that compared to 2.7 million shares on October 5th. So it has gone above the previous high on heavier volume, and of course more than 10%. So probably indicative that it's not a weak stock out here. Going to have a little doji out here on the news of that selling, but a lot of times you should break through and see volume and increase in volume as you go through these highs, and really just not getting it. My guess is that maybe it goes higher for a few days, but I'm thinking that this thing has a much more likely chance of coming back into that gap that was started on the 23rd of January, and was it on the bottom of that gap is 735. So you got 735 down to basically, what was the high of that day? Yeah, 705. So nice $30 gap out here. Most likely that's going to get filled. One of the things I dislike is the energy on this leg down from the last high of October 5th to the low of November 16th had more energy than this leg back up, although this leg took a lot more time. Kind of interesting. Apple, kind of interesting. This thing's getting a bounce out of here today on news that's rather old. We talked about a wristwatch that Apple was talking about, and basically you could leave your phone in your pocket. It would talk to your phone through Bluetooth, and you could basically talk to Siri, and that would get whatever you wanted done, and kind of just act as kind of like as a relay of talking to your personal assistant. Google's got a new assistant out that's supposed to be even better than Siri, and I think it's going to be available in the next day or two if it's not already. I haven't downloaded it, but apparently very well hooked into the search engine that Google is, and maybe a lot more useful than a lot of crazy discussions that you have with your phone. Apple on that, up on very light volume. But again, this news is probably 2 months old, and I think just continuing to drip out this information as we go and fill at least a good part of this gap down on lighter volume on the way back up. What else do we have moving out? CSX. I'm going to see if anything else was happening on that. Yeah, nice gap up. Its last major high out here, it looks like it's headed for, is $23.74. 7.3 million shares. That's the August 21st high of last year. But decent volume today on the gap up. What can you say? It's into a couple of highs, and it could drift up another buck. No big deal. So we'll have to see when that happens, if there's anything worth looking at. Probably the other thing to always be checking is the supply chain of Apple. And normally we look at a few stocks. One is Skyworks Solution. This one did gap up and has gone nowhere since it has. It gapped up on the 31st of January and did have some significant volume, but it's gone and done nothing but go sideways since then. Qualcomm, another one of these, very close to its high of $68.87 from the March 27th high of last year. Had a lot of volume on this last gap up, but most like Skyworks Solution, just going sideways for the last 5, 6, 7 days and not really doing anything. OVTI, the camera supplier for a lot of Apple products. Let's get this thing out just a little bit. And it's up, but again, a lot of very light volume. I'm not seeing anything out here that tells me that the worst is over for Apple long term. One of the things I've been warning everybody about is ARMS Holdings may be putting in a fairly long high a la Apple, and they are pulling back today. No big sign to short this thing just yet, but we want to be watching this one very closely. ARMS Holdings is ARMH. I suspect that they're going to be in a big fight come midsummer with Intel. And I think Intel has the better hand. ARMS Holdings right now. Intel, once they get some of their new chips out for these low-power mobile devices. We'll be back in just a minute. We'll be going through some of the other stocks out here that are of interest. Give me a call, 877-927-6648.
Just recently, on December 28th, Market Insight subscribers were advised to go long the QQQ, the NASDAQ 100 ETF, on December 28th at $63.91. And only 2 trading days later, after a huge jump in the markets, Market Insight subscribers were advised to sell the QQQ at $66.64 for a $2.73 or 4.27% profit to start off 2013. At the same time, Tom O'Brien had advised his clients looking for a more leveraged trade that they could have initiated a position in the QLD, the ProShares Ultra QQQ ETF, and over the same 2 trading days, Market Insight subscribers were able to lock in a $4.48 profit or an 8.47% gain in just 1 trade. Get your 2-week free trial to Market Insights today by visiting the front page of TFNN.com. Cancel at any time during your free trial and pay nothing. Don't miss out on the next great trading opportunity in 2013. Act today. If you're an investor looking for a great weekly investment newsletter, then now is the perfect time to try out Ken Shreve's Ultimate Growth Stocks. Every Tuesday, Ken breaks down multiple sectors in his weekly newsletter, Ultimate Growth Stocks, with a full in-depth report including specific trading recommendations within his model portfolio, charts, sector analysis, upcoming economic data, along with intra-week trading updates on newsletter positions whenever the market dictates. Right now, you can receive a full month, that's 30 days, to evaluate Ken's newsletter free of charge to see if it fits your trading plan. At less than $75 per month, Ken provides you with his expert trading advice that can pay for itself in no time. Take advantage of this great offer by signing up for a 30-day free trial to Ken Shreve's Ultimate Growth Stocks today. Don't let this offer pass you by. Visit the front page of TFNN.com and sign up now. Daryl Martin coined the phrase diagnostic trading, and we're happy to announce that his Diagnostic Box Spread Analyzer has finally been released. The Diagnostic Box Spread Analyzer helps you easily identify the best box spreads on Nadex in seconds, plus you receive access to the diagnostic deviation levels, as well as step-by-step training videos teaching you how to trade Nadex spreads so you can quickly master the mechanics of this simple yet powerful trading instrument. By pulling live data from the Nadex exchange, the Diagnostic Box Spread Analyzer does all the math for you, calculating risk, reward potential, distance to break even for both outright spreads and spreads used to hedge the underlying market. Visit the front page of TFNN.com today to get your 2-week free trial to Daryl Martin's Diagnostic Box Spread Analyzer and gain access to the valuable information it can provide when trading the Nadex box spreads. Has the current market volatility continued to stop you out of trades when the market spikes against you? Now is the perfect time to open up an account with Nadex. Nadex, the North American Derivatives Exchange, is a brand new, completely regulated Chicago-based exchange, and unlike most other exchanges, Nadex allows you to trade directly through them with direct market access when using their completely free trading platform, which also features real-time charts and full customization capability. One of the advantages of trading with Nadex in volatile markets is that your risk is always capped and you have the ability of keeping your trades open even when the market spikes against you. Nadex is completely brand new with a line of unique trading products that are unavailable anywhere else. See how it works at nadex.com. That's NADEX.com. Or click on the Nadex banner on the front page of TFNN.com. Futures and options trading involves risk and may not be appropriate for all investors.
This segment is brought to you by Crocodile Gold. For more information, just click the Crocodile Gold banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
And just a short reminder, I know there's a lot of fans out there of The Living Dead, or The Walking Dead. The Walking Dead. It's back on again. First episode in a while. Kind of a yawner. I didn't really get too excited about it. Maybe it'll pick up after this next episode. But not a lot of things I like watching on a Sunday night. Walking Dead's kind of interesting. Kind of a, Lord of the Flies kind of thing. Interesting nonetheless. Not a lot of volume out here. 1.8 and just under 1.9 billion shares, which means we're going to have a very light day. 2.7 billion, something like that, shares on the consolidated New York Stock Exchange tape, and just not a lot happening out here. Yet, like I said, gold off a little bit, which I am short gold, and having a decent day out here, but fairly light volume so far. Wanted to look at a few other stocks. I wanted to look at the home builders, mostly because they'd been showing some signs of weakness, and just see how they have done. Armstrong Worldwide, AWI, of course, the carpet floor manufacturer, has been coming back and filling its gap. That gap happened a long time ago on March 30th of last year. And just on, I think it was something in there. Anyway, it's been slowly filling those gaps for a while. What I'm really looking at is The last major high was on November 5th with 460,000 shares. It's tried to get back into that. The highest volume over that period was 320,000, and kind of spiked into that gap, pulled right back. This may be starting little ABC downs out here. I'm thinking that at least the housing market looks like maybe it's got a good chance of rounding off for a while. Just like gold market, it's had years where it hadn't moved that much. Hovnanian Enterprises, one of the big builders, it's way off its highs. Hit its last major high on January 2nd. It's down to 512 on Friday yesterday. It's up a little bit out here today. But a lot of these probably setting up some kind of consolidation zone for a while out here. Lumber Liquidators, another housing flooring company out here, has been going up over the previous high. The one I'm looking at is the October 24th high of last year, 2.9 million shares. As we get into this over the last few days, 300,000 shares, 400,000 shares. Very, very light volumes as we start to break some of these input companies out here. Mohawk Carpeting, another one out here. Let's see what we have. You know, it's like a lot of these stocks have gone up and up and up. Hasn't really given a sell signal. Might be getting close out here. It is getting ready to test its high from January 30th, and that had 750,000 shares on it. Not so bad today. Probably going to come in just a shy of that, but also it's not going to break that January 30th high most likely today. Pulte Homes Group is another one. We've been talking about how these things look very tired. It's been selling off for the last 7-8 days, and on light volumes, so no big deal there. We're also looking at Ryland Homes, another one that fairly much had its kind of blow off top with volume, which means a good chance that January 30th high at $43 is going to get retested. I just think it may be a little while. It's got we've got a couple of dojis out here. To me, the support level looks right at $36, and probably, probably have another 20 cents or 30 cents on the lower side of this thing as it bases out. Let's see what else we have. Standard Pacific, we've been talking about this one as kind of a false breakout. They are a housing builder in Florida, Arizona, Las Vegas, kind of the Sun Belt, let me put it that way. Had a huge volume high back on September 21st last year. Failed to break it on October 25th. Came back, reset up. Of course, didn't have any kind of energy as it broke through that September 21st high at $7.92. I'm looking at this as a false breakout. You really needed some sign of strength, and you got just the opposite. You got a big candle with a big down day with almost 10 million shares that day, and that was on the 1st of February, setting up probably some highs that may last 3, 6, 9 months out here. The other one, USG, the people that make drywall out here, it has kind of found some lighter push to the high. Again, these are not stocks that are really saying screaming shorts, but are probably coming off the highs to some extent. Let's see what else I wanted to look at. We've got a lot of these stocks in the fiscal cliff, and of course each day that goes along, we are finding stocks out here that people are starting to talk a lot more about because what would happen if the sequester came out. And I'm just going to go through some of these real quick. Baxter International is probably one of these that is giving a sell signal. BAX is the symbol on that. And we're basically banging across these highs twice at around $69 with 3.4 million shares. But this last one on this last run pulled back about 2.7. So again, a lot of these just looking tired. Maybe not screaming shorts out here, but certainly looking as if they'd hit some highs for a while. Bruker, BSX. A lot of these just pushing these previous highs on lighter volume. Let's see if we have any more out here as I look through these fairly quickly. Edward Light Sciences. Fluor Systems is probably the most interesting to me. This one came out and had big earnings with huge volume. You'd love for this thing to pull back to its breakout point, which is about $23.50. It did have earnings out last night, but these guys make basically cameras that work on heat, infrared, and for the military. I guess there is some extent of what I was talking about on the Tech Insider on Friday night, and that is China is making more and more kind of, I wouldn't call them smart weapons, but smarter weapons to go after our carrier groups. They would much like to take over Taiwan, and they don't care to really attack us, but they know as long as our carrier groups are there, it would be very hard for them to do anything. So they thought that the best thing would be able to penetrate our defenses in carrier battle groups is just to make a absolute huge load of these missiles and just fire them all off at once, thinking that we wouldn't be able to get them all at once. We're talking about how planes are going to be, starting in 2014, basically fitted with new lasers. So apparently they've got them able to work. These lasers wouldn't be limited to the amount of rails that they have on the plane, so they could carry 2, 4, 8 missiles or whatever. But we're talking about being able to have in the range of hundreds of shots to take down incoming missiles. All these, of course, work at the speed of light, so you don't have to wait 30, 60, 80 seconds to find out whether your missile hit anything. You're going to know pretty well right off the bat. I'm not real clear, of course, military secrets, how these things are going to work, but a lot of these kind of things may need things like Fluor, and seeing some love out here. General Dynamics, of course, all these plane manufacturers pretty much pulling back. Granite Construction up nice. HCA, another one of these. It's well, just trying to see if there's anything else out here moving on a quiet day. HealthNet is probably one of the most interesting out here. As it came down on a huge gap down, so I kind of like this setup already. If things do get dicey on the sequester front, came down on 8.2 million shares on May 3rd. It's been slowly trying to work back into that. It did kind of come, or tried to come into it on Friday. Very, very light volume, 740,000 shares, and starting its reversal on light volume today. But when you really zoom into this, this is what I like. It starts off with some decent energy off the bottom, kind of moves around, but this last move from $22.84 from November 21st all the way up to this $28.88 high out here. Very consistent, but very little energy, just slowly melting up. Harris Corporation, another one of these that's banging around. One of the things you dislike is the volume was strong, 1.3 million shares on the last low of February 1st, coming into a low with 1.6 million shares from November 16th. But you're probably going to get a little bounce and a retest of that area. If it got real low, maybe that's telling us something about who's going to get the business of the sequester. Humana, another one of these healthcare stocks up against high volumes. In this case, the last high volume was June 29th in Humana, HUM. We got into that on Friday with lighter volume. So we're basically going up against that June 29th high of 4.6 million shares with 2.6 million shares, and starting to see the retracement in that. Let's see, what else do we have out here? L3 Communications, again, like Harris, that deals in government and military communications. Starting to set up out here. Certainly the volume over the last 3 days has been lighter as they've pushed this up, but it basically had one false breakout that was testing the November 6th high at 77.68 that had 950,000 shares. You went through it and basically got a high of about 700,000 shares, so 250,000 shares lighter, almost a fourth. That pulled back into the trading range, into the last gap up area. It did test that on lighter volume of 1.9 million shares compared to the huge volume update, well, it's about the same, 1.9 million shares. So probably setting up some kind of trading range out here as we look at some of these other stocks. Raytheon is RTN. This is another one of these military contractors that would have significant problems. It actually was a false breakout to the downside so far. The October 2nd was the highest volume low at 6 million shares at 53.60. It went through that on 4.4 million shares and basically closed back in. So a lot of these already taking it on the lumps. Seiju Medical, another one that gets more than 50% of its earnings from the government, is coming up on interesting volume. And not a lot to read into that one. URS Corporation. Just seeing what else is moving out here. We'll look at another sector here. I think we've gone through a lot of these. Let's see. I'm looking for some tests. See how some of these have done. Camden Property. This one kind of had a blow-off top. Again, back on the theory that a lot of these REITs are kind of up at these highs. Interesting that it was a blow-off high with high volume and could not hold that high. Actually went to a higher high that day, and all the selling came in a hurry. That was the August 1st high of $71.99 with 640,000 shares. Blew through it on volume on a 1.1 million share day, but reversed intraday and started lower. And, we've had kind of a light volume up on Friday and a little bit of reversal back out here. But a lot of these starting to show signs that they have hit highs. Some of these retail storefronts are also showing a lot of weakness. Let's see. Got a question then. Is Apple masking S&P weakness a little? I think it's actually a lot, especially on this lower volume out here. So not uncommon to see him push a market up like this. Anyway, Kohl's Corporation, KSS, this is one to be keeping a close eye on. We've had two dojis in the last, if it closes here today, two dojis. Heavy volume down, and that was on the November 29th of last year. This thing's been meandering back and forth. Tried to get in to that gap on February 7th with 5.7 million shares, comparing it to that 20.5 million share down day of November 29th last year. Two dojis were building up some energy to go somewhere, either higher or lower. Right now with the lighter volume, normally you suspect that it's ready to go back and start testing the last major low. In this case on Kohl's, that would be the January 3rd low, 8.1 million shares out there. So it's a high enough volume low that should get retested fairly soon. OCN is Owen Financial Corporation. This is another one out here that's broken to higher highs. Two dojis if we close right where we're at now. But last major high was October 24th with 12 million shares, a high volume push up, pulled back, came into the trading range, did exactly what it was supposed to do, which is test its real sign of strength that happened on the 3rd of October last year. Yeah, 9.7 million shares. So you've got a lot of volume. This is not a bad looking chart out here, but what you don't want to do is see these 4 or 5 days with no sign of strength as it breaks above previous highs. Anyway, we will be back in a minute. You still have time to give me a call, 877-927-6648.
Are you looking for a precision edge in the market? Something that can stack the odds in your favor? Then look into Larry Pesavento's new trading newsletter, Patterns, Profits, and Peace of Mind. In each weekly issue, Larry explains what's going to happen in the markets based on the pattern he sees developing and gives you actionable trade ideas based on those patterns. Plus, you'll get his detailed analysis on a variety of markets and sectors, including stocks, treasury bonds, the gold market, oil, the dollar, the forex market, and more. And you'll get the Technical Corner segment, which is a short but powerful weekly training session on trading. You'll You'll get access to all the patterns Larry is seeing in the markets, plus the Astro Harmonics and powerful Bradley stock market model that Larry utilizes for less than $5 a day. An extremely potent combination that will give you just the edge you've been looking for. Try patterns, profits, and peace of mind absolutely free for 2 weeks. Go to tfnn.com and click on the free trial link at the top of the page. That's an $85 value, yours free when you register right now. Get Larry's patterns, profits, and peace of mind and get the edge you've been looking for.
Tom O'Brien's weekly newsletter, The Gold Report, has helped subscribers for over 10 years navigate the high-risk world of exploring and producing gold companies. And now's a great time to sign up for a free month-long trial to see the kind of insight that Tom delivers for his subscribers on a weekly basis. Every Monday, Tom O'Brien issues a quick update on the metal market, giving you his take on the HUI, XAU, GLD, dollar, bonds, and much more. Tom follows Monday's update with a full gold report, which is delivered to subscribers Tuesday afternoon with detailed coverage of 24 separate gold or metal stocks, as well as another 10 to 15 stocks that he lets you know are on his potential watch list. Get your month-long free trial to the Gold Report today by visiting the front page of tfnn.com. Don't spend another year navigating the metal markets on your own. Act early in 2013 and make the most of your gold and metal market investments. David White's newsletter, The Technology Insider, is focused like a laser on finding the next big things in technology. If you had invested only $10,000 in Microsoft in 1986, you'd have been a millionaire by 2000. Disruptive technology like Microsoft's is the key to these massive long-term profits, and the Tech Insider is the vehicle from TFNN to capitalize on these opportunities. This is the go-to newsletter that identifies, monitors, and profits on mostly little-known cutting-edge companies with great long-term prospects. David's experience is as an inventor of Emmy-winning animation products for TV and Hollywood that propelled a company public. Match that with 14 years as a full-time trader, and he's uniquely qualified to guide you through the light-speed world of ever-evolving high-tech. If you're ready to ride the next big technology bull market for less than $40 per month, log on to tfnn.com and get your 2-week free trial to the Technology Insider. Get in on the ground floor of the next big thing today.
Great moments are born from great opportunity, and that's what you have here. The opportunity to answer the questions, should I buy or should I sell? Should I be in or should I be out? Hi, I'm Steve Rhodes with TFNN, and I produced a free report, Reading the Message of the Markets, where I'll teach you how to use a set of tools that will answer these questions. Go to the homepage of TFNN.com right now and download Reading the Message of the Markets. This free special report includes step-by-step video examples that would have had you out of the market before the crash of 1929, before the crash of 1987, and would have had you back in the markets buying at the bottoms. This set of tools works on all time frames and all instruments. This set of tools will shape your trading and investing future. Folks, this moment will never be here again. The only cost is not taking action. You were born to be a money master, and the time is now. Go to the homepage of TFNN.com and order Reading the Message of the Markets.
This segment is brought to you by BackTech Environmental. For more information, just click the BackTech banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
As we go back and look through a few more stocks, a lot of people making a lot of hay about gold closing below its 200-day moving average today. It closed below 1650. A lot of people starting to maybe scratch their heads. But like the tide, it's always coming in and it's going out. A lot of people believe it never can go out. Same people believe that the housing would never crack, or the stock market. But things always going up and always going down, so we can take a look at it. I've seen some stocks actually take off, come back, check out their breakout levels, and then continue forward. One of the at least better ones out here so far has been Adobe. On earnings, they bounced up and on a nice amount, 17.5 million shares, came back, really got back into that gap on the 31st of January, popped up. It's been going slightly higher, but certainly nothing to write home about after 14 days and you see $1 move in a stock. But it's still very, very light volume in a lot of what we've seen out here. Coinstar came out. I wanted to talk about this stock. They were setting up a system for Verizon users for online videos. The system seems to work fairly decent. The movies are totally worthless, and nothing. It took about half an hour to actually find something I wanted to watch. Pretty horrible. Again, Coinstar, those little booths that they have at the grocery stores and Walgreens and all those other drugstores. Probably not a bad system out there, but again, online delivery, it's where it's at. And Coinstar, I guess, has fairly decent delivery, but not a lot of content deals, at least for what I tried, and it's $8. A lot better for Netflix for their $8 plan. At least you have a lot more choice. We did see Coinstar off about $4 on Friday on bad earnings. Did kind of bounce a little out here, but what we're looking at is last low was January 14th, 730,000 shares. Got into that on Friday with 4.3 million shares. Probably signaling a lot more weakness. Can see the last major low out here on October 26th at $40.50 be tested. It is a high volume low at 7.3 million shares. We were actually short this one in the newsletter when it came off the highs fairly strongly, and maybe we'll get yet another chance. But a good example of what happens in a stock that does come off on monstrous volume, it does get exhausted fairly quickly, and rarely does it rally extensively. Maybe you'd be happy to be in this 7-point move that came off that big move from August 2nd to September 11th. But for the most part, in the big scheme of things, it has a tendency, high volume, huge move days have a tendency to move a stock sideways for extended amount of time. And this is a good example if you want to see that in Coinstar. Again, I couldn't really be long this with the high volume low from October 26th. Pretty good chance that that's going to be taken. Dollar Tree, one of the few stocks that was up on Friday. Not a lot of volume, but of course nothing else is. Again, earnings statement just a little bit better than a lot of people thought. Dollar Tree is DLTR for the symbol. And, just no follow-through, pretty much like the rest of the market out here. Generac Holdings, we talked about this stock on Friday. You might want to take a look at this. Probably going to run out of time here today. GNRC, but very light test of the previous high out here, right back into the trading range today. Anyway, we'll see you tomorrow. Same bat channel, same bat time. I hope everybody can join us. You all have a safe and wonderful evening, and see you tomorrow.